the best day of the week. And you know why? It beams a ray of hope to something that every human that exists should take part of and should be proud and happy to look forward to, and that is the activity of rest. But good morning, welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Uganda, and you are watching UBC TV. We come to you live always from the Nile Avenue, and this morning we are just ready as the whole team to make sure that we kickstart your Thursday as we all look forward to the weekend, part of the best days of the week, always and always, always. But some of the sad stories that we do have, one of them being the fact that police in Kalungu district are investigating the circumstances under which a 9-year-old pupil died inside a school dormitory. Authorities said the deceased Vanessa Nakayemba, a primary 4 pupil at Royal Ark Nursery and Primary School in Lukaya Town Council, died under unclear circumstances, leaving the school administration and parents in shock. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Joan Murunji and Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Julie, and a very good morning to you, our viewers. It is Throwback Thursday, so as you have been sipping your coffee, we have been trying to wake up your memories musically so that you know what happened in that era whereby fashion was big on hair, and so that you see how far we have come. But today, we expect a ruling from the Supreme Court. But just to remind you a little, National Peasants Party presidential candidate, that is Robert Kasivante, had petitioned and sued President Museveni, the Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General, challenging the outcome of the January 15th, 2026 presidential election. Now, in his substantive petition, Kasivante had alleged widespread non-compliance with the Constitution and electoral laws. He cited claims of ungazetted polling stations, irregularities, and alleged failures in the use of BVVKs. Later on, we saw Robert Kasivante applying to withdraw this petition. But today is the day that the Supreme Court is set to deliver its ruling on this application by Robert Kasivante. And if court grants Kasivante this application today, it formally brings an end to the only challenge filed against President Museveni's re-election in the 2026 presidential race.
Right, thank you very much, Joan. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning to you, Julie.
Are you well?
I'm very well. Just thinking of Kasivante. You know, this man, there's a place he used to hang out. When
with him?
Not me with him, but I would be at a certain distance. And I used to enjoy how we used to come in with these escorts during campaign. I think he had some good car, and then of course the security. So one time he comes from this special place and walks on foot. And it's a busy place in Machini. So everyone was like, hey, now, and he comes out, you know the number in terms of ranking, which number he took? If he was he was number 6, I think, in the just concluded.
Oh, you mean the rank in the elections? Okay.
And he's the one who was so concerned to go to court. But we wait and see today's ruling, because anyone the Constitution gives right. Now, for me this morning, I'm perturbed by something. When government came out, I think that was in, came out and said, we are going to have digital number plates. Me, I love to call them ITMS, because to me, they are not digital. But they are just number plates with enhanced security features. Now, we thought that this habit of some young boys in the community removing number plates from our vehicles, and then later they leave for your number to call, you deposit money, and where you're going to find your number plate, it's going to be done and dusted. Because we thought these number plates, even if they are hidden somewhere, we shall be able to track them and find them. But I'm getting shocked by the number of cases of people who are having digital number plates, and these number plates are also being stolen, and they can't be tracked because many of them end up either paying money to the boys who demand 300,000 from you onwards, or processing new number plates. For example, there is a Medi, I think this guy has made rounds, Chiemba, on social media. His number plate was taken. By the end of the day, he had to cough 75,000 to have
it back.
They call it, I think, a photocopy of that number. Now, the good thing is a duplicate. The good thing is most of the times when these young boys steal your number plate, they will ask between 300 to 400, or some in some areas even 200. Now, for you to replace, though it's a hectic process, because you have to do more paperwork and all that, but it only costs you
more money.
No, if you're to do it the formal way without middlemen, if they have stolen your number plate, instead of giving the boys 300, you only need 75,000 to get a duplicate of your digital number plate.
A duplicate?
Yeah, because it's called a duplicate because
the original
was stolen. So when they give you a replacement, let me use that word, a replacement of a digital number plate takes only 75,000. And within a week, you're supposed to have gotten that number. However, some people want to use middlemen. Now, if you have an old number plate and you want to get a digital number plate, as you call it, then there you're going to go with 150,000.
A new one.
A new one.
Yeah.
And now this is confusing people. I've seen these cab lockers.
And 50 for the motorcycles.
For the motorcycles. What they do is they buy an old car, work on it, go and get digital plates, then they'll tell you, so if you're not very aware of how these numbers move,
right,
you will think
Robert,
you purchased a new car.
do you think the digital number plates are serving their purpose of enhancing security so that they can help us in real-time tracking in case of theft?
I want to be very honest. To the best of my knowledge so far, I've not seen any case, to the best of my knowledge, where digital number plates have
enabled real-time
tracking or recovering. That's why I said it is very disappointing. Either me personally, I've not had any successful story, but when digital number plates came in, we thought now it is done and dusted. If these people steal my number plate, they'll just track where my plates are, and I get them back.
But it's impossible.
But the boys are doing the same thing as if we still have the old plates. I've had issues of car theft, and someone says it's a digital plate. But I've not seen that this car has been, we've been able to recover this car.
It's surprising people track their lost cars with their own private trackers.
So I don't know, I've said to the best of my knowledge so far.
Right.
That doesn't mean that there is no one.
Loopholes still within that whole system, and one
need purpose for this.
Yes, but indeed we need purpose for this, and I do agree with you, Robert. What do we have on the local scene today?
Well, I want to begin with the Prime Minister of Uganda, who actually met development partners in Nairobi. Now, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabanja, held a high-level engagement with diplomatic missions and development institutions based in Nairobi, but serving Uganda, urging them to establish offices in Kampala. Nabanja made the remarks yesterday while addressing ambassadors and heads of the United Nations agencies and institutions at the Serena Hotel in Nairobi. The Prime Minister is leading a Ugandan delegation to Nairobi that include ministers, heads of government agencies, and technical staff from the Office of the Prime Minister. Nabanja asked the diplomatic missions and development institutions to consider the benefits of opening embassies and representative offices in Kampala instead of operating from Nairobi. Nabanja briefed the conference on Uganda's ambitions of the 10-fold development plan and called upon partners to invest in the country, noting that achieving this vision requires joint efforts from all the development partners and stakeholders. The Director General of the Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiz, highlighted Uganda's competitive advantage over other countries in attracting investment and appealed to diplomats to prioritize investing in Uganda for sustainable returns. The State Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Amos Lugorobi, and the State Minister for Internal Affairs, David Muhoozi, and the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, explained to the diplomats and development institutions why Uganda remains one of the best investment destinations in Africa. Moving on, Jimmy Akena, the president of the Uganda People's Congress, UPC, expressed concern over the upcoming race for the Speaker of Parliament, saying the country needs a leader who genuinely understands the law and the needs of Ugandans. While addressing the media at the party headquarters in Kampala, Akena emphasized that the office of the Speaker is critical and requires competency, integrity, and a firm grip of the Constitution principles. He clarified that UPC has not yet endorsed any candidate for the position, noting that the party is still consulting internally to determine who best fits the role. Akena also criticized the ruling National Resistance Movement, NRM, government for what he described as prolonged stay in power, arguing that after nearly 4 decades in leadership, it has failed to adequately invest in public universities. He said insufficient staffing in these institutions undermine the country's ability to train and prepare generations capable of shaping sound national policies. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Monica Edemachu, has updated members of Parliament on the need to reinforce trade order in Kampala. This follows the various concerns by a section of members of Parliament sitting on the Public Accounts Committee who wanted to understand the fate of vendors. The committee, chaired by its deputy, Goreti Namuga, claimed that KCCA did not improvise alternatives for the vendors, as the Public Accounts Committee Central continues to scrutinize the report of the Auditor General for the financial year 2024-2025. The Undersecretary, Ministry of Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, was tasked to avail the committee with an update. The MPs wanted to understand the available alternatives. This cites poor management of various projects in Kampala, including delayed road constructions, among others. By press time, the committee had prolonged interactions with the ministry officials to the extent that no permanent solution was arrived at regarding issues of the vendors. Now to security. Police continues with operations to disrupt Police continues with operations to disrupt criminal elements within the Kampala metropolitan area. Over 300 suspects have been arrested in possession of narcotics and other substances. Superintendent of Police Rachel Kawala said the suspects connected to criminal gangs have been screened and will appear before courts of law. In other news, the Uganda Prison Services are still hunting for Wada Anguyo Moses, who opened fire on his supervisors, killing 3 of them. Unfortunately, during the shooting, a 1-year toddler was injured by a bullet and later pronounced dead. Frank Baine, the prison spokesperson, said investigations are still ongoing, though preliminary investigations reveal that the shooting arose when one of the supervisors cautioned Moses about using a phone while on duty at his post. Social media.
I've recently seen
Someone
another
on
guy.
WhatsApp told police, don't do that. He says, why? Don't. Then cocks, why are you cooking a gun? Opens fire.
I've
Can
also
you
seen
imagine?
some other prisoner guard who killed, I think, 3 of his children. He was arrested, and what he was claiming was, these are my children. Why are you arresting me for killing them, my own children?
Wow. I think the mental operations of Uganda is
Yeah.
indeed dire. Joan, what do we have on the foreign scene?
On the foreign scene, we are starting off with Iran and US, as Iran and the United States are set to begin the 3rd round of nuclear negotiations in Switzerland, with both sides maintaining their preference for a diplomatic solution, even as Washington imposed sweeping new sanctions and continues to build up its military presence in the Middle East. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in the Swiss city of Geneva on Wednesday and met his Omani counterpart, Badr al-Busaidi, who is facilitating the indirect talks scheduled for Thursday. Before his departure, Araghchi said a fair, balanced and equitable deal was within reach, while reiterating that Iran was not seeking an atomic weapon and was not ready to give up its right to peaceful use of nuclear technology. The talks unfolded against a backdrop of continued mistrust, with the rhetoric from both sides oscillating between confrontation and engagement. In Washington, D.C., U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance accused Iran of attempting to rebuild its nuclear program after U.S. attacks on Iranian nuclear sites. That was last June. And he said Tehran should take Washington's threats of military action seriously. And moving on, a United States federal judge has ruled that the administration of President Donald Trump had violated the law through the swift deportation of migrants to countries other than their own, without giving them an opportunity to appeal their removal. U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy declared the policy invalid on Wednesday, teeing up a possible appeal from the Department of Homeland Security to the Supreme Court. "It is not fine, nor is it legal," Murphy wrote in his decision, adding that migrants should not be sent to an unfamiliar and potentially dangerous country without any legal recourse. He added that the due process, the right to receive fair legal proceedings, is an essential component of the U.S. Constitution. He was quoted, "These are our laws, and it is with profound gratitude for the unbelievable lack of being born in the United States of America that this court affirms these and our nation's bedrock principle, that no person in this country may be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law." The ruling is the latest legal setback in the Trump administration's mass deportation campaign. Forging forward, Pope Leo XVI will begin attending visits to 4 African countries on 13th April, marking his first pastoral trip to the continent, the Vatican announced. He will travel to Algeria, Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea. In Cameroon, the Pope will visit the capital Yaoundé, the economic hub Douala, and the Anglophone city of Bamenda in the restive northwest region, where an armed conflict has been raging for nearly 10 years. This is the first time that a pope will visit Algeria, whose population is mostly Muslim. In December, he expressed his desire to visit the continent, citing Algeria, the birthplace of Saint Augustine of Hippo, as a potential destination. The pontiff belongs to the Augustinian religious order and had previously called for interfaith dialogue in the North African country. While it will be the Pope's first pastoral visit to Africa since assuming the leadership of the Catholic Church, he is no stranger to the continent. As Cardinal Robert Prevost, he visited several countries, including Kenya and Tanzania. His decision to travel to the continent highlights Africa's growing importance to the Church. It is home to about 20% of the world's Catholics. In January, Cardinal Fredolin Ambogo, Archbishop of Kinshasa and President of the Symposium of Episcopal Conferences of Africa and Madagascar, hinted at the Pope's plans to visit Africa in April. And that brings us to the end of our international news. Though there are some people who are watching, Julian, they've asked me to send them greetings. They enjoy the show.
Right.
And that is Rachel, I think, and Rachel, Esther, and Viola.
All right.
They do enjoy the show.
We do appreciate the trio for watching the show. A quick look at what
Rachel,
the dailies.
Esther and Viola.
Yes,
Thank you
Rachel.
for watching. So there is no man.
They are kids. The others
Oh,
are
they are
kids. They watch as
kids.
they're preparing the kids for school.
Okay.
Right, looking at what we have in the dailies this morning, the new vision, government workers paid 470 billion shillings illegal benefits. That's the headline in the new vision. Illegal benefits. Also, who is behind the destruction of Bugoma Forest Reserve? Now, over 70 tenders, opportunities there in the papers, a new vision, or education material pass O-level as the URA, and Makerere University passes out a record 215 PhDs. Looking at the Daily Monitor, plan to evict Boda's starts. And feature there, no love lost in Paul, from salt of the world to a salty church. Interesting one. Elections are over after all. Plan to evict Boda, says the lizard. And 19,200 doses of HIV prevention drug arrive in Uganda. Now a quick look at what the citizen in Tanzania has. Hope as Tanzania approves HIV prevention drug. And we pardon me, the citizen there has East Africa financial strain triggers debate on defaulting states. That's the headline there. And vulnerable groups named as government issues COVID-19 influenza alert. A warning there. In the Daily Nation in Kenya, the headline there, we do have bribes to clear rogue doctors. That's the headline. And Ruto Uhuru Season 2 duel unfolds. All of that in the dailies. Grab yourself a copy and enjoy all the detail from in there. For now, let's have a short break. When we get back, we're having a conversation on borders. Be part of the conversation. 0709 602 592. Good morning.
Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's the 26th day of February 2026. The month is rolling its carpet out, and so is this week. Above all else, this is the best day of the week. And you know why? It beams a ray of hope to something that every human that exists should take part of and should be proud and happy to look forward to, and that is the activity of rest. But good morning, welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Uganda, and you are watching UBC TV. We come to you live always from the Nile Avenue, and this morning we are just ready as the whole team to make sure that we kickstart your Thursday as we all look forward to the weekend, part of the best days of the week, always and always, always. But some of the sad stories that we do have, one of them being the fact that police in Kalungu district are investigating the circumstances under which a 9-year-old pupil died inside a school dormitory. Authorities said the deceased Vanessa Nakayemba, a primary 4 pupil at Royal Ark Nursery and Primary School in Lukaya Town Council, died under unclear circumstances, leaving the school administration and parents in shock. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with John Murunji and Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Julie, and a very good morning to you, our viewers. It is Throwback Thursday, so as you have been sipping your coffee, we have been trying to wake up your memories musically so that you know what happened in that era whereby fashion was big on hair, and so that you see how far we have come. But today, we expect a ruling from the Supreme Court, but just to remind you a little, National Peasants Party presidential candidate, that is Robert Kasivante, had petitioned and sued President Museveni, the Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General, challenging the outcome of the January 15th, 2026 presidential election. Now, in his substantive petition, Kasivante had alleged widespread non-compliance with the Constitution and electoral laws. He cited claims of ungazetted polling stations, irregularities, and alleged failures in the use of BVVKs. Later on, we saw Robert Kasivante applying to withdraw this petition. But today is the day that the Supreme Court is set to deliver its ruling on on this application by Robert Kasibante. And if court grants Kasibante this application today, it formally brings an end to the only challenge filed against President Museveni's re-election in the 2026 presidential race.
Right. Thank you very much, Joe, and good morning, Robert.
Good morning to you, Julie.
Are you well?
I'm very well. Just thinking of Kasibante. You know, this man, there's a place he used to hang out. When,
with him?
Not me with him, but
Yeah.
I would be at a certain distance. And I used to enjoy how we used to come in with these escorts during campaign. I think he had some good car, and then of course the security. So one time he comes from this special place and walks on foot. And it's a busy place in Machini. So everyone was like, hey, now, and he comes out, you know the number in terms of ranking, which number he took? If he was, he was number 6.
Unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 07.
my question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that Among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. It's Good Morning Uganda and time for The Real. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. And if you've just joined us, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. Now, before we even delve into the conversation of the day, we want to celebrate one of us, and that is Shafiq, an amazing human being who's graduated from Culinary University and is celebrating his graduation. He's part of the team, the behind-the-scenes team that makes everything make sense for you. While we sit here at this desk, he's part of the team that works tooth and nail to make sure that what you receive is a quality image. And at that, Shafiq, we celebrate you, we love you, we really, really appreciate you, and we are proud to be part of your life as a team, as colleagues, but as friends as well. Congratulations to you.
Felicitations to Shafiq.
Indeed.
Yeah, he's a very down-to-earth person.
Very down-to-earth and very diligent at
Yeah.
that. I'm excited. I'm happy for him.
Shafiq, please tell us where the party is.
I knew Jojo. I mean, I knew.
It's okay. Some people call me Jojo, so it's
Yes,
fine.
I knew you were going to ask for food.
Oh, well.
Where food is, but of course, you know, our pastor soon to be ordained will send prayers to that. And of course, for me, the silver fox, of course, I also play my role in that direction.
In terms
All
of
right.
cash.
You have said.
All right. Shafiq, we love you, and congratulations to you. Now, getting into the conversation of the day, let's look at Boda Bodas. The Daily Monitor there had a headline, plans to evict Bodas starts. And at the start of February, the KCCA's efforts to enforce the trade order began with the eviction of vendors and a directive for taxi operators to operate strictly from designated parks and terminals with illegal roadside stages banned. KCCA also now, when it comes to Boda Bodas, is gazetting former Boda Boda stages across 5 city divisions out of 929 required stages. So far, only 166 have been approved so far. And in this new plan, 30 boarders are expected per stage. That is the number of boda cyclists allowed per stage. And of course, the no-go zone border areas will be allowed into the central business district. Let's delve into that. Is this possible? But also, why are we coming to this point? When did it start? What caused it? How relevant is the Boda industry? Be part of the conversation. We are not talking to ourselves, definitely. We're just showing on this with you on the other side. 0709-602-592. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyunyintono and Joan Murunji. And I'll start with Joan. What's the relevance of the Boda industry? It sounds obvious, but there's deeper to what seems obvious.
One, Boda Bodas, I think, started from Busia. Remember, there is an artist who sang some song about Boda Bodas.
The late
Is that the late
Eliwamala Evergreen.
Oh, okay. If I told you who I thought sang that song, I would feel embarrassed.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the rendition by
I think,
GLL
yeah.
Zamba.
So it started off in Busia, and today more people have seen embracing this industry. particularly for the youth, I think the Boda industry is the second largest industry that employs youth or offers employment, informal employment to Ugandans. And it is so critical to the economy because a Boda rider on average earns about a day about 30,000 averagely, 30,000, some even surpass that, or 30,000 to 50,000 a day. If the day is good, 50,000 and above. So it is a crucial industry for the livelihoods of Ugandans. People are employed, they are able to take their children to school, they are able to feed themselves, they're able to treat themselves and also develop themselves. I've seen of so many people who say, I started in Boda business, now I have these numbers of plots of land, I can educate my children, I can do whatever I feel like, which was not the case when I was still in the villages. And Uganda's backbone transport, Boda consists of 70% because Kampala alone, I think, has over 1.5 million Boda riders or Bodas. You know, when we talk about Bodas, I think we do not include the other motorcycles, personal motorcycles or private ones. Specifically, we are talking about those that use Bodas for business, for transport of cargo and human beings. So they serve as a public transport that they help out on the taxis and maybe buses. That is, if they're still, most of them are still operational. I don't know. I rarely use Kampala Road, so I don't know if the Awakulenome is still in operation. There is another green bus, is it Kayola, I think? Something like that. I've seen some of them, but also including the coasters. So with Ugandans being overwhelmed with limited means of transport, for us who may need quicker means or who may not be comfortable in the 14-seater means that is a taxi, we can resort to Boda. So there is a transport for some of the Ugandans. And beyond also transporting the people and the cargo, Bodas help in emergency circumstances. You know, I always see people, one has been knocked down by Boda and still he's or she's put on another Boda. And I'm like, is it even this person having phobia for this motorcycle after the accident has happened because of the motorcycle? So in case of emergency or you're rushing somewhere, you're sending documents or you're making deliveries, Bodas do help out a bit. So for utilities, rural and urban utilities. You know, there are people who ride motorcycles from Bodas from Kampala to Masaka to Liantode, and I'm like, well, there is a time I had a show in Luwero and Chichusa. So I had a wedding to MC of a friend on Saturday. And I had to be in Luwero at about 10 before the show starts. So I couldn't beat the traffic to be there on time because, you know, Saturdays with traffic on Bomba Road. I decided to take a Boda from Bwaise to Luwero. And within just barely an hour, I was already in Chichusa. So they are really so flexible when it comes to means of transport, emergency utilities, and also as a source of employment.
And easy access, if you talk about, you know, maneuvering through transport. And
in areas hard to reach by taxis.
Yes, exactly.
They know every place.
No, they would lie to you that they know this place, but on the way they'll be like, where do we turn off from? Is it here? And that fascinates
at least
me.
they always figure it out. And I'm told they're also used as investigators in people's personal lives.
Yes, Julie, anyways, you can say that again.
Robert, how did we arrive to this current situation, do you think?
Well, thank you very much, Julie, and of course those watching us, plus Joanne, who gave us a very background of their relevancy, not forgetting that they have also, they are both a security threat and also they double. They help in fighting crime, but also they are good at committing crime.
The boys sword.
The boys and that particular motorcycle. They'll help police. They are the best spies you can use because they will know who is new in that area. You just move into your house if you've been renting and now you're entering your house. In a few weeks, they will know. He drives this car. He does this.
He arrives at this time.
If you're a man and you have extramarital affairs, they will know.
Still, they will know. They'll even know that is the wife.
You will even employ them to spy on your women. One time I was driving through and I was just new in this area and one says,
but Jesus, how did these people are barely 3 days in here how have they known? So they do both. They will commit the crimes, they will help fight in crimes. And the other thing where they are most important is they rescue people, accident victims. You Julies, and you drive your cars when they have knocked someone. But these border men we see here,
it's
we'll take that person and rush them to hospital.
Now, some are knocked by borders and still
even if it's any accident, yes, those border guys will not see people dying. The one will volunteer.
They'll first steal from that person some of the onlookers and
onlookers. But you tell Joanne to park her car to take someone bleeding in hospital or dying.
I would have a second.
Let me give you an example. Let's not forget very fast. General Katumba Amara, when he was shot, vehicles were passing. It is a border man that volunteered to take him to hospital.
You remember even in Lunguja, was it the head of the Indiga clan, the late Bosa? What happened? Even the president uploaded the border riders.
They play a vital role. But how did we get here? One, like Joan said, that borders were first used at Busia border, where transporting luggage and people. That's where the later Shamara Wamala came up with that song. Now, in Uganda, when you start a business and it's making money, people embrace it. Now, what happened? They began having stages. Someone would just look at a point where there are clients and can park his bike there. So these stages began. UBC, someone suspects, UBC staff will move out. They will need borders. So he finds a conducive space outside the gate and parks one motorcycle.
They will rush to cover news where traffic may be big.
Now another one will come. Another comes, they reach 10. Now the founder of that stage
is the chairman.
He's the chairman. To be the chairman because it is his stage. Now the founder of that stage forms a committee. The chairman, defense, vice, I think, and secretary.
Mobilizer.
Then also mobilizer. Now they set up a fee for you to come to that stage. You want a space there for you to park your bike. Depending, some charge as far as 1.5.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, these people began making these stages at vantage points or where they knew there were clients. And this is how these many stages came into place. Now, for you gazetting 100...
And what about the Lubianzas? Those ones
that one disturbs me. Those ones...
Anywhere to whom it may concern.
For them, they don't have a permanent place of parking. For them, they just keep on riding.
And there is always
so when you stop them, they'll take you, they'll continue riding. They don't stop to park and wait for passengers.
But Robert, have you noticed they always clash with the ones with
they clash, reason being, this one at the stage has some money. One, the Lubianzas are chargeless.
True, that's true.
Because for them, they are constantly moving. And those are the ones, that commit so much. And people who use borders so much, I'm not pointing at anyone. People who use borders so much don't want to get those ones on the stage because they're a bit expensive.
True.
Because
we are
for
all
him,
meeting halfway in this economy. We are meeting each other halfway.
He will drive you to your destination, then ride back to
the stage.
But the Lubanza, if it takes you to Namugongo, then he will continue wherever that day takes him until he comes back to his place. Now, my fear is, having looked at the history of how these stages came in, and some have grown to about 20 members, where each has paid money. You gazette 166 stages, but you have a population of about, in Kampala to say, over 1,000.
They're over 900, but so far the ones that have been confirmed are 166.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The number of borders.
Stages are over 900.
929 and so far 166.
Some figures put it at 166. Now, if you're looking at this population of the borders you have, there is no way, there is no science, there is no mathematics. If you're talking of having 30 per stage, that means majority of these are leaving the CDB, the Central Business District.
And it's where the money
majority are leaving. And it's where the money is, one would say, because I sometimes use borders. In Kampala, a boda will get you from UBC up to Constitutional Square. Many still call it State Square, and will charge you 2,000. Go to a village, a boda where it charges 2,000.
It must be a very long distance.
It must be a very long distance.
In Gulu City, anywhere you go, a boda is 1K.
Are you sure?
Now,
you know, Robert, you talked about that, the
people,
numbers,
yes.
because if there are over 929 stages, and we have over 1.5 million borders in Kampala, that means we need over 50,000 stages.
Of which the math is not mathing. And I'm very sure the enforcement must be very determined to push these boys who are not on gazetted stages out of Kampala. It's going to be something very hard. However, I believe where there is a will, there is a way. And if you don't have political influence, we need sanity in the city. We need the city to look reasonably fair compared to what it is today.
But therein is what is the solution for those?
Because you're going to create massive unemployment. Joan talked about this, that is the second sector employing youth in this country.
And
graduates are in boda industry.
That's true. That's true.
Yesterday I was being
professionals.
Yes, by a pharmacist. We have teachers.
Yes.
We have people who are making ends meet. They do their professional jobs in the evening. I don't know how many police officers are riding boda.
Even corporates hire out these bodas to these other riders. They have to bring money in every day.
Actually, some of the corporates in high-end spaces, 8 to 5, then 5 to whatever time they please, they are.
Because the boda on a bad day they make 50,000. On a good day it's 100,000. How many jobs are there where a person earns 50,000 daily or 100,000?
Bodas earn more than the corporates.
At times, yes.
Many a times.
Go to these banks,
Many
guys.
a times. A bank teller will earn maybe at most what? At highest, maybe a tuma.
No, Tuma is exaggerated.
I'm just stretching it. Let's
make it at 1 million.
All right,
then
1 million.
Take home about
1 million that is taxed, pay as you earn, NSSF. Perhaps there's a provident fund in there at your place of work, and by the time the money hits your account, you're at about a 500 or 300.
Yes.
And a border earns 50 daily. And he's able to.
And on a good day, 100.
Good morning, UBC. Evicting borders in Kampala will increase crime rate, though most of them are thieves. But the rate of stealing will be so high
not most,
that
not
people will run away from Kampala.
It's not.
And Elias in Nakawa says that the other day on vendors, pardon me, I hope I'm getting. You said Joan said it was okay for them to be evicted because she has no. Did she say that though?
Because she has no what?
She has no benefit now because she uses borders. They are okay. I think Elias, you misquoted what.
No, Elias, I get where he's coming from. Elias is saying
because
when vendors were being evicted, and yes, because Joan felt like. You know, that day I was for the vendors, she was
against
So she said that, well, we need a city, they must go and things like that.
Yes.
Now he's saying, good enough. Now they are touching the
borders that she uses.
That you sometimes use.
Okay, yes.
So now you're feeling
the pinch.
You know.
Thank you, Elias, for your view. 0709602592. We are looking at the case and conversation of evicting borders out of CBD. 929 required stages so far by the KCCA, and so far 166 have been approved. 30 individuals expected to be per stage at each stage. And when it comes to the Gazette, I don't know what the Gazette might look like, but I'm thinking that there are zones that will be no-go areas for borders. And one would wonder, what does access look like? Not every Ugandan drives. You know?
Yeah, true.
Those implementing this thought of every Ugandan who accesses every place freely. Not everyone is as healthy as a youth to walk from wherever to, I imagine, for example, I just imagine, one needs to come to UBC and it's closed off, and a border has to drop them at, say, City Square, and they have to walk that stretch.
Now, let me interject quickly there, Judy. Now, there are two things. One, they had what they called the border free zone, meaning that area, no border is going to be allowed. But now that they have brought in gazetted stages,
Right.
It means the border free zone is not going to work, because remember the first map indicated if you're coming from Ginger Road, I think they were supposed to stop at Wampeo Avenue. But now that, I think, is a move they have left. And they have said, let's look at gazetted stages.
Yeah, and
now,
the areas they're focusing on include, I think, Chikubo Lane, Kafumbe, Mokasa,
so what they are not
Benchwanuka,
doing is they are looking at places where they don't want border stages. One was security purposes, that there are installations like banks. Just imagine the stages we've been having outside banks. And they feel these were promoting insecurity. Two, there are some stages near government installations, big institutions, say, you know, Parliament Avenue, you have borders there. You come to maybe offices where they are highly for security purposes.
National Theatre.
And you have, it's not safe enough. So they went to gazette some stages, but those key vital installations will not have stages gazetted there. That's why, and they were supposed to mark these stages.
Right.
Because at least I know that I was speaking to a borders outside UBC gate when they were striving and doing so much to have that stage gazetted. But they were telling them that's the national broadcaster. You cannot have borders there. I don't know if they really succeeded in having that stage as gazetted.
But I think it is okay, Robert, if the stage is abolished, I can call my border guy to come and pick me up. So I think it is kind of simplified.
Well,
anyway,
the challenge here is that those that are not going to be able to get stages, because most of these stages already have a number hitting 30 or close to 30.
And have been registered by KCCA.
Yes, and they can't accommodate anymore.
But I'm also looking
so what is the
at,
fate of those stages that are going to be removed that have about 30 people? And KCCA says that is not a gazetted stage, so it shouldn't be
all
there.
those who are
also
registered.
looking at now the probably new prices of a stage in case probably one passes away. Or one. Now whoever joins, it might surpass the 1.5 because it's been between 600,000 and 1.5. But now I think it would even go up to a 2 billion.
Of course, demand and supply.
Looking at some of the comments coming through, they should just put strict laws but not chase them. Okay. From the city, people have studied in Uganda, but there is no jobs. There are no jobs for them. Thank you, Raymo, for being on the show. Uganda's transport sector should be organized. Eviction of Boda won't solve the problem. We need to organize the entire transport sector, bring back railways, and maybe replace Boda with buses, and should be proper buses, not these ones that are...
Buses may not be timely in Uganda.
Viewers are very
I think there's a clarification we must make for our viewers to understand. Government or KCCA is not chasing borders out of Kampala. Let's be clear on this. What they are doing is they are going to chase borders who have been having illegal stages, non-gazetted stages, or those that have not been having a particular stage.
Yes.
So those that have stages that are gazetted, those stages, because it was a process, they had to know who are working there, their committee of that stage. It was a vigorous exercise.
Right.
Those that are on gazetted stages will remain, will operate, and will work in Kampala.
Good morning, Uganda. I think evicting borders from Kampala would be the worst mistake ever.
No, he's not understanding what we are talking about. We just made a clarification.
In any case, what opinions do they have to ease quick movements in town?
Okay.
This is Edson in Entebbe. All right, let's begin closing this off. Robert, what are your views for the eviction process?
First, it will be a miracle of the century. If it so happens. Because government has tried, KCCA has tried, but they have not had a breakthrough. Maybe because now we are not nearing any elections. You know, sometimes when we are getting there, things are complicated. But it's going to be a miracle that is going to be delivered by the current ED and the team. And also I'm looking at how are they going to sustain this? Is it going to be sustainable? Yesterday I was moving around Chiseka and I saw some street vendors are back.
Yeah, I've seen images of some of
They were back. Like now, barely a week.
I think they are playing cat and mouse with KCCA.
So,
and some, even the ones in the markets are already threatening, if clients do not come to the markets, we are coming back to the
So some of these things, I hope we are ready and we are serious and we can sustain them. But it is a very good move in terms of security and order in the city. But we must also cater for those, if we could, cater for those that are going to be left jobless. You know, when someone loses a job, it hurts me so much.
Yeah.
Because these people have families. They have families to feed. They have children to educate. Now, any move that destabilizes their source of income takes my heart to roll in tears.
Thank you very much. John, in just a minute, what do you think of the eviction process?
If it is effected according to their plan, maybe it will be a success, because we've seen these initiatives before, like Robert has mentioned, but then the efforts are derailed and all in vain. But for reducing congestion in the city, and also improving traffic flow in the city. Julie, do you know at times when you are approaching the robots or at the robots, about something like 60 bodas are in front of the cars and the light is green, but you have to wait for about 3 minutes for the bodas to get finished, and about 8 bodas are on this side, others are on the left, and it's just a bit overwhelming. So, and also the other thing is enhancing safety, security, because of the if KCCA, this move is also aimed at ending border-related crimes.
Right.
I think we are good to go.
All right, that's it for this conversation. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. John will be coming back with the business desk. And
Absolutely,
I'll be back
absolutely.
on the agenda. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by.
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
For more than 2 months, the hashtag Visit West Nile trended on X, formerly Twitter. A flamboyant team of social media influencers led by Uganda's most recognizable face in the field of tourism and hospitality, Wekesa Amos.
West Nile was not part of Uganda until 1914, and many Ugandans in general don't know that bit of it. And that time Congo was specifically an asset of King Leopold.
I am proud to visit West Nile with our fishing lodge. The lodge is found in Ajmani district in West Nile.
West Nile.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Welcome back from the newsreel. It's a good morning and thank you for joining us. We are on Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. My name is Zakia Laki. Now this is a continuation of what we discussed in the previous edition, talking about how the Ramadan is significant in the culinary space with what kebab, and we are still in the same space now, bringing you the relevance of culinary hospitality in regards to faith. We are still in Ramadan now. Stick around and listen in from what we have to offer this morning. I think now we can talk about the foods, how you explained them earlier, starting with the sweet foods, and then you take us through the next meal.
Now we are Turkish people. When people they come here, even if they come alone, in our culture we force people to drink tea.
Force people to drink tea.
To drink tea. Okay. So we offer people complimentary tea before they start eating or after they eat. Okay. Then for breakfasting, we advise you, as I said to you, you can get a juice, fruits or dates. So your sugar level will be up because it is down. Then as starters, we have a soup and we have a Ramadan bread. In Turkey, we cook this bread only in Ramadan. The taste is different. It is very tasteful than the normal bread. Then this is, we call it lahana sarma. This is from our culture. As I said to you, our menu is mixed with continental meals and Turkish meals. So this is one of our Turkish meals. And this is lentil soup. We advise you to put some lemon inside to take it. So your stomach will be getting the energy slowly by slowly.
So this is a complete iftar meal?
No.
It's not complete?
They are going to bring a Turkish pizza. We have a Turkish pizza. And the main course will be coming.
Wow, I'm wondering how you break off the fast and you eat all of these. You start with the sweet foods, you come in with the soups, and then pizza is coming. Does one take in all of these foods?
Most people, they fail to finish.
Yeah.
Most of people, they fail to finish. But we are okay with it. And one of the, as kebab house, one of the complaints we get, but we are happy. When we get these complaints, they say, your portion is too much. So for us, there is nothing wrong. And for you, I think you are happy too, also.
Yeah, to client satisfaction. Okay, so why do you force people to take the Turkish tea? You said that one will force people to take.
This is our culture, not forcing, but even if you don't take, they say, take it, don't worry, take it. Then sometimes people, they come, they say, no, we don't want. I tell them, it will help you to digest. In Uganda, you have a different, like, wrong thoughts. When you are satisfied, when you take tea, you think you will be too much satisfied. Actually, it helps you for digesting.
Is there like a certain ingredient that helps you?
No, normal tea, normal black tea from Uganda. Just we cook it in our way. Let me show you. You see the black side. We put the black teas here and we pour some boiled water. Okay. Then this is just boiled water, plain boiled water. If you want, you can put some ginger. So according to how you like it, strong tea or light tea, we pour it like this.
So the water is to dilute.
Exactly.
Yes, so why are dates traditionally used to begin iftar?
First of all, for us, our prophets, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his companions used to start breakfasting with the dates. This is their habit traditionally, and we follow them. This is the first reason. Second reason is scientific. It's scientific. Date is one of the healthiest tools to feed ourselves. Like, it has more calorie than many fruits, but also it doesn't increase your sugar level. It doesn't, so it is very healthy. Secondly, it is very useful for the intestine. It decreases the constipation. Also, it helps you for digesting. Thirdly, it balances your sugar level quickly and without causing anything on your diabetic sickness. Okay. Then fourth, it protects us from some sicknesses like diabetes sickness, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. This is how scientific people, they explain the benefits of the dates. So because of these reasons, we start fasting with the dates.
Okay, and how important is the hospitality during Ramadan in attracting both Muslims and non-Muslims?
Actually, first of all, in hospitality-wise, we don't consider any difference, Ramadan or out of Ramadan. We are here as a kebab house, 32 people. Our team members for now, we are 32 people. Our course are like this. We respect each other, we love each other. Then we try to create a family here as 32 people. Okay. Then what we believe in this life, everything is energy. The way Professor Einstein says, in this life everything is energy. What energy you create with your actions. As a team, what energy we create. If we are successful to create a family atmosphere here, this kind of people will be attracted to come here. Then we don't consider anyone Muslim, non-Muslim, atheist, Hindu, anyone. Just we see them as a visitor. And what our target is to make, when you come here as a client, we try to make you feel it is a part of your home. You see, some people they consider here is a room, if one room of their house. This is, when I was establishing this kebab house, that was my first target. And thank to God, we have many regular customers. They come here, some people they come here 2-3 times in a week. Some people they come here every day. Some people they come here every week. Because they see here as a part of their home. But how we succeeded this? First of all, with our team. We became a family. When these people, they say, we are a cleaner, I can call them brother, and I say it sincerely. It's really impressive you also. Yeah. Then you feel a part of a kebab house. One time we had a customer, there was, he ordered something and something else came. And do you know what he said? He says, Mr. Samet, kebab house is my place. It is my place, it is my restaurant. Okay, our staff made a mistake, they will correct it, it's okay. To make you to feel like this is our target, Madam Zakia.
That's really interesting.
So it doesn't matter if you are Muslim, if you are not Muslim, if it is Ramadan or if it is not Ramadan. It doesn't matter for us.
It is hope for everyone.
Exactly.
We've just heard from Mr. Samed, who is the CEO of Kebab House. The foods that are served, especially during this iftar, are also an experience of all cultures. For the period itself, for the Turkish experience, and of course where you are in Uganda, it's a whole experience for everyone. He did tamper with other days as well, not just Ramadan. When you hear how everything is followed step by step, the first sweet foods to help you digest, then the teas, how they are served, it is completely different. How the meals are served, it's a whole other different experience. When you get to see how the upper part is cut, I would want personally to come back to this place. So come and experience it, feel at home at Kebab as we explore more of Culinary.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
The Uganda Revenue Authority urges all taxpayers with outstanding principal tax for the period up to 30th June 2024 to pay the principal tax by 30th June 2026 so that you can benefit from the waiver. In failure to pay the principal tax outstanding as at 30th June 2024 by 30th June 2026, will render the accrued interest and penalty payable. Good morning once again for those of you who are just joining us. You are watching UBC. We do come to you live from Nile Avenue. It is time for our economic press bar. Welcome back from Tourism Express that is proudly brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board. Swiftly moving on to our financial intelligence, starting off with our digital financial updates. Now, Equity Bank, millions of Ugandans rely on mobile payments, online banking, and real-time transfers every day. Equity Bank Uganda has now moved its core banking data to a local facility in Kampala, a step officials say could affect service reliability and data security for customers. Let's take a look.
For years, much of the infrastructure behind everyday banking, from mobile transactions to loan processing, was hosted outside Uganda.
This bank has been having its data center or data requirements outsourced from Nairobi. Now, when something's outside your boundaries, you may not have much control. By coming to this center, Axio Center, to locate it here in Uganda and particularly in Namamve, is enhancing the ownership of this data and therefore increases our sovereignty we have on our data. Issues of cyber security risks are becoming common, but the challenge is now with all players to make sure that they have in place systems that are aimed at mitigating the risks against cyber security.
Equity Bank Uganda has completed a 7-year migration of its core systems to a Tier 3 data center in Namamve, operated by Rexio Data Center.
Digital infrastructure of Africa is not built somewhere else and then delivered here. It needs to be built here. And on infrastructure that's designed for our markets. That's why I made a point out of saying the Rexio group actually can disappear. This data center will not stop. It's an independent data center that has support from others. And that's very, very important. It's completely locally anchored.
The migration follows a regulatory requirement from the Bank of Uganda that mandates sensitive financial data be stored within the country.
Right now, you can imagine when you have data processing in country, it means you process data faster. When you have data in country, it means that our teams have more control. It means that we can innovate faster. So for a lot of, as you know, Equity Bank, we're one of the most innovative banks in this market. We are one of the most digitally advanced banks in this market. We have one of the widest digital infrastructure in this market. Our distribution today is one of the widest in terms of agency network. All these are running on rails of technology and data. And therefore, hosting data in country is very, very vital for us not only to process transactions faster, but also to transact more reliably. And also, very, very importantly, we have more control.
During the financial switch, there was a short service interruption affecting some customers. Bank officials say it was necessary to stabilize the systems. For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
Advancing to our insurance intelligence, the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda has launched the 5th edition of its Insurance Week Drive and Exposition geared at deepening insurance awareness and uptake. Scheduled for 19th to 20th March, the annual Insurance Week has become a flagship industry platform, bringing together insurers, brokers, agents, bank assurance players, and the wider public to showcase sector progress, innovations, and the value of insurance in safeguarding livelihoods and business. Let's have a look at this launch.
But also, we shall crown it off with the Insurance Innovations Awards, which will recognize innovative solutions and products transforming the insurance industry. We deliberately extended the schedule of this year's Insurance Week to a full week, including a weekend, to give the public more time to engage meaningfully with the licensed players and also the key financial stakeholders in order to understand the working of insurance and other financial solutions. And indeed, it will give you an opportunity to access insurance and other essential services. We are looking at insurance not just as a source of premiums. We are not looking at it as a source of survival for insurers, but also the people part is very, very important. That's why this time, as the Insurance Training College, we are mobilizing students across the country to be part of the Insurance Week.
Future eriku kushua ne insure. That theme resonates with the masses. It brings the aspect of insurance and the aspect of trust closer to the masses. As the Uganda Insurance Association, we shall focus on promoting the digital stickers.
Pressing on to the dairy industry, milk prices in Nakaseke district have doubled following the construction of the new feeder roads covering over 60 kilometers. Local leaders say the improved transport network has boosted a market access for farmers and also led to a sharp rise in the price of milk at collection centers. Let's look at this development.
Poor road networks seem to hinder farmers from transporting milk to collection centers, especially during the rainy season. Funded by Uganda's government, Islamic Development Bank, and Lives and Livelihood Funds, 2 60-kilometer feeder roads were completed under the Local Economic Growth Support Project.
These roads are actually covering a wide area. One of the roads is 27.5 kilometers, and this is the one which is Migane, and it continues to Kagonji. There is another one in Wachato sub-county, which is, that one is 27.5 kilometers. This one in Ngoma is 33 kilometers.
As a result, milk prices rose from 500 shillings to 1,000 shillings.
We have already given testimonies that actually out of this road is being created, constructed, the prices of milk have gone up. The time that the motorcycles and vehicles spend to bring ingredients has also shortened, and the people are generally happy because of the intervention of government.
In Nakaseke district, roads have eased movement, with residents able to reach health centers and learners to access schools. Businesses located along roads are thriving.
Oleta motoka yo neitawo n'oleta ya business neitawo owa boda atambula ow'ekigere atambula ezo segeni za NRM.
Nze nali mpeeka abaana ku mabegabega wano nga mpita ku kkubo lino olwaleero nvuga piki nga tewali kinkwatako.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, Benjamin Kumumanya, officially commissioned the roads.
They have the cows, they can sell the milk, they can have the motorcycle, they can have the vehicles, they can transport themselves to hospital, and therefore, without having many problems, because once you have created wealth, then you can service your needs and you can be able to live a comfortable life.
Better roads improve mobility, which is an advantage to Nakaseke's dairy sector. Joseph Okol compiled the story.
Let's briskly look at what your money holds against other currencies as of 25th February 2025 by Bank of Uganda. Starting off with the US dollar that bought at 3,579.59 and sold at 3,589.59. By midday, the dollar buying rate was at 3,588.73 and sold at 3,598.73. By close of business, the dollar bought at 3,590.05 and sold at 3,600.05. The Great British Pound bought at 4,856.61 and sold at 4,871.22, whereas the euro there bought at 4,231.59 and sold at 4,243.73. The Kenyan shilling bought at 27.80 and sold at 27.95. The Tanzanian shilling there bought at 1.39 and sold at 1.41. And the South African rand bought at 226.40 and sold at 227.10. And of course, that brings us to the end of GMU Business. Do not forget that we are proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Coming up is the agenda. Thank you for accompanying us. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax. How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now, you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In all these years, we emphasize two words: wealth and jobs. And we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Massa business in Soroti. And he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the third year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The President's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Tunafuna kasente wano kugana osubula ekintu nga wasobodde okukola naye nga tolina ka capital katekamala naye kati kuba watandika otuwa ku kasente kati tulaba kati mino gitambulatambulako bulungi. Obulamu bwange tebwali bulungi ku byenfuna kubanga emirimu tulina ebirimu byaffe gya mu mutwe naye ng'oluusi n'olumanyi olina osubula mati omwokolamu ekyo ebintu ebyo kaneze ng'emipiira ng'egyo tusala busi z'emmotoka naye kati nga muntu akuleetera polopera y'emmotoka nga tolina sente zigula material ne kati batuwa akasente n'ogula ebintu ne bibeerawo kasoma n'ajja n'omukolera ekintu n'agenda n'akusasula akasente. Obulaba nga bwate tewali bulungi kuba buli oba nga ebyenfuna si birungi tosobola kuba bulungi. Era ngwe nkubira abavubuka ba ghetto tibannaaye tujumbire okola kuba buli oba okola gavumenti naye ekuddukiye nekusanga w'okolera nekukolera akasente. Tweyanza nnyo pulezidenti ow'ekitiibwa pulezidenti era ogete yasako naffe otuddukiye n'abantu b'ewansi twongera mu ka bizinensi kaffe naffe tusobole okwekulaakulanya.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
For more than 2 months, the hashtag Visit West Nile trended on X, formerly Twitter. A flamboyant team of social media influencers led by Uganda's most recognizable face in the field of tourism and hospitality, Wekesa Amos.
West Nile was not part of Uganda until 1914, and many Ugandans in general don't know that bit of it. And that time Congo was specifically an asset of King Leopold.
I am proud to visit West Nile with our fishing lodge. The lodge is found in Adjumani district in West Nile, Uganda.
Embarked on a farm trip to visit West Nile.
I think our visit up to Ara actually is going to change about what the world thinks about West Nile.
I must say, people of West Nile are very loving people, because when I went to Germany, to Arua still, it was the same energy. Coming to Germany and seeing the love they're expressing. So they want you to come and visit. They have been always telling me to come and visit Germany so much.
To visit West Nile is to wake up every early in the morning to strategize.
Okay, now, the next part, I'm just going to set up for a shower, and then, yeah, you guys are going to be waiting from outside there. You are not needed here, so you should go. Go, 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 go. You've had enough. Go, 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 go.
To visit West Nile is to hike to the summit of Mount Ochi.
Ashoki says, lonely at the top. But guys, we're not lonely at the top. I'm here with Classic and the amazing Alex here. Yeah, 2 hours in West Nile is taking over. So one advice, why should somebody drive 400 kilometers to come this side and tour?
To visit West Nile is to taste the most delicious Hawaiian pizza.
Wow! Guys, forget all the pizza you can eat in Kampala. Look at this.
To visit West Nile is to listen to a true son of the soil who carries the pride of Madiland wherever he goes.
Lodge actually as a social enterprise for transformation, for skilling, for cultural exchange, for building communities.
To visit West Nile is to harvest from garden to table.
For more than, I think, 5 weeks, we're going to be telling captivating stories, hiking mountains, talking to influencers, and having what we call the very best of the good life.
My name is Drago. Join me as I take over West Nile.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Welcome back from the business desk and GMU Tourism Express. It's time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And this morning we're looking at all things labor and of course shedding light on the recently launched tourism strategy for Uganda. Uganda launched a new tourism strategy and the launch At the launch, it was noted that the tourism sector has fully recovered from the COVID-19 disruptions and now considered a frontline contributor to Uganda's development. Government is targeting up to $50 billion in tourism revenue in the next few years. And it was also noted that domestic tourism has greatly improved. Now, to chew on all these matters with us is Moses Mauku, General Secretary of the Uganda Hotels, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers Union, at the same time Treasurer General of the National Organization of Trade Unions. Be part of the conversation, 0709 602 592. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my sister Julie.
Pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I don't think I've seen you since the year started, so happy
Very
New Year.
happy New Year to you as well.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, now with what you've had me say that was said at the launch, as someone who's part of the industry, the General Secretary of the Uganda Hotels, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers Unions, what do you make of that information?
Well, to begin with is to appreciate government for the efforts they have put in to improve tourism. As you are well aware, tourism was one of the most hit industries by COVID-19, and it brought a big scare to the economy. And arising from that threat, the government and other stakeholders put in a lot of strategies to ensure that tourism recovers. It is very good to hear as we speak today that tourism has improved and continues to improve. When you look at the figures that have been recorded, especially for the year 2025 into 2026, it is amazing that tourism has recovered and even surpassed the income that we received even before COVID-19 struck.
Yes.
So that gives a very big hope, but it's also important for us to appreciate that there are people that have been behind this growth and development. And the strategies that have been deployed, we only need to ensure that we improve. There are gaps that still exist. We have seen government making promises of improving the income with setting targets of about 50 billion US dollars, which is not a simple target to meet. So what is most important here is that all stakeholders, all actors within the tourism industry must step up, or we must step up our activities and follow the strategies as designed in the plan. But among all things is to focus on what we call human-centered growth. Because what brings about all this growth is the human beings that are in that game. The more they are committed, the more revenue we can expect. And if they are not committed, we may not achieve what we are intending to achieve. It is at this point in time that I want to really appreciate Uganda Wildlife Authority management and the staff being the main actor in the sector. All of us, we focus on UTB, we focus on the main ministry, but the main person on the ground is Uganda Wildlife Authority. So we want to appreciate as a union and as workers, we want to appreciate the efforts by the Uganda Wildlife Authority. Recently, last year, we were still grappling with the issues or the effects of rationalization process, which ended fairly well with our involvement. We had discussions with the Ministry of Public Service, we had discussions with the Ministry of Tourism, and a lot of work that was done by the board of trustees, and the management. So we want to trust that this development that we are recording can only continue when the interests of the staff are also met in the whole of the sector as far as tourism is concerned. Because they are the ones, we see that we have even improved in the numbers of tourists that come. It has stepped up to about 1.65 million people that have visited. So we need to ensure that we maintain and even improve on these numbers.
Right.
if we are to reach the targets or to achieve the targets that have been set.
Indeed, and the targets there in the government is looking forward to achieving a 25-fold growth. And one would wonder how is HTS and NOTU helping government to protect workers from all the persistent problems and challenges that have been faced, like long working hours, job insecurity, low pay. How best do you think moving forward all these things can be improved with the help of the unions?
Well, in as far as unions are concerned, we are a representative organization for basically the employees. But what underpins our function is that we cannot exist where there is no employer. For example, one of our biggest branches as a union is actually Uganda Wildlife Authority, where we draw about 3,000 members. So it is only the existence of Uganda Wildlife Authority that we can also have the membership in that organization. So we cherish and wish the organization to stay if we are also to stay. Our survival thrives on employers. So we work in partnership and we engage in collective bargaining to ensure that we improve the welfare of the employees of those individual organizations. So, for example, in Uganda Wildlife Authority, which is the biggest entity in the tourism sector, we have collective bargaining agreements. Actually, we have one which we just renewed, 2025, and it has improved a lot in the terms and the conditions of employment.
Right.
But would wish to continuously call, while we are recording all these achievements, the workers' salaries are still very low. And it's one of the things that I want to call on the Minister of Public Service and the Minister of Tourism to ensure that they provide enough funds to promote the interests of the workers as well, as a way of motivating them to do the work well, so we can achieve the big targets that are being set here.
You talked about this strategy, hoping that this strategy also is human-centered, because at the end of the day, every success comes from human beings.
Exactly.
Would you please elaborate on what exactly does that looks like if a strategy has to have a human-centered strategy?
Okay.
What does it look like? What are the pointers?
Human-centeredness is a concept that is being promoted by the International Labour Organization and the International Human Rights Standards. It is important and necessary that when we are designing strategies to make or achieve certain objectives for organizations, these strategies should focus on the individuals that are going to implement the strategies. Is the person, because you can say we want to have, to achieve, for example, the 25% growth. But who is going to drive this growth? If you are going to say, let us buy new cars, who is going to drive the new car?
A human being.
It's a human being.
An individual.
Exactly.
Yes.
It is this employee. Let us buy or furnish the offices. But who is going to sit in these offices? So all these strategies that are developed for purposes of achieving certain targets for an organization should be focusing on the interest of the person, the individual, the worker, who is actually going to implement this strategy. So that is why we have to call on government and all other employers that when we are developing or designing strategies to achieve for an organizations, these strategies should have the human face. It is the worker. Among the first things that you design, look at the worker's plight. Look at how this worker is also going to achieve while growing the organization. Should the organization grow while the employee who is making that organization grow have his salary unchanged? Have his terms and conditions of employment not growing as well? So that is why we are calling on government, in particular the Ministry of Tourism and those that are concerned, to ensure that this strategy is aligned to the interests of the employee who is going to drive this strategy to where they want it to get.
Now let's look at the labor force altogether, in line with labor. How would you describe the current state of Uganda's labor force in 2026? It's a year that we've just started, but how would you describe the nature of our labor, and what would you wish for the year 2026 to look like?
What we have as of now, the labor fraternity has a lot of problems, I would say.
Okay.
Every person leaves his or her home to go to work to earn a living. There is no money which is enough for an employee, but there is always money which is adequate for an employee. And there is money which is inadequate for this employee. And that is where you begin bringing in comparisons. We have had disparities in salaries for people working for the same government. And these disparities, we have been discussing them over and over again, where you have some people of this doing the same type of work, earning distinctively very different salaries, but they work for the same employer. So it is important that we begin looking at how to harmonize the salaries and benefits that accrue the workers in the different sectors. That is very critical. We also have this problem of absence of a minimum wage for those who cannot negotiate for themselves or who do not belong to unions. We have that lacuna where we do not have a minimum wage that has been set for the most vulnerable employees in Uganda. We have domestic workers. Each of us chooses how much to pay that person, irrespective of the roles and duties that this person is going to be assigned. You choose how much to pay, as if we do not have a government that must offer guidance in some of these topical issues. So we still want to call on government to ensure that they enact a law on minimum wage that would probably provide for these most vulnerable people in employment.
0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should be part of as we look at everything labor, but also throw some shade on the new tourism strategy Uganda's tourism strategy that was launched, and how best it is to evolve if labor is focused on and empowered at that. And if we are to stay with our labor force, what major changes have you noticed over the years in the trends, employment trends of Uganda?
One is that the more times we have been around and speaking about workers' rights, workers' plight, the rights of employers, that engagement between the parties is trying to improve on the conditions, even in organizations that actually do not recognize unions. They seem now to begin to appreciate that there exists some labor laws. So there are those that they implement, and we are also having these agencies that are now beginning to crack down on more and more people, like Revenue Authority, NSSF. NSSF is a labor law. So when at least people begin to implement the NSSF, there are a number of things that improve in the terms and conditions of this employee. Many people are beginning to access social security because NSSF, on the other hand, is also trying to enforce that labor law amongst the workers and the employers. So it is important that we continuously provide information to the workers of this country and the employers so that we can see more and more people try to be, to enter into the groups that benefit from the labor laws that we have in Uganda. So these engagements are very positive and continue to improve the welfare of the employees. It is incumbent upon those people who are engaged, especially the employers, to make sure that they access the labor laws and get them to be implemented among their workplaces.
Very profound. And with the policies, of course, that are coming up and the conversations going on, they are ideally about the employer. But one would wonder how many about the employer and employee. Yep. But one would wonder how many employees are part of NOTU to even know what their rights are, to even fight from a place of knowledge and information, as opposed to being the victims all the time. What would you speak into that?
First and foremost is to inform Ugandans that all people employed are represented by the workers' organizations. The representation might be direct to an individual or indirect, because we represent workers at different levels. We represent workers, for example, at the shop level, at the workplace, but we represent workers nationally. We represent workers regionally, and we represent workers internationally. All these are different stages at which workers' organizations represent the employees of a given country. When we are engaging with governments and employers, we operate under what we call tripartite partnership. All decisions that relate to employment and labor are made to be reached upon through a consultative process between the workers' organizations, employers' organizations, and the government. So these things are done at all those levels. When you look at numbers, you are not necessarily going to look at this individual one person who belongs to a union. The laws are for all Ugandans, and the enactment of these laws involve directly the participation of the workers' organizations, to the extent that we have 5 members of parliament that represent workers.
Yes.
So it's not important for somebody to to continue claiming that, but how many members do you have? We have all Ugandans in the working environment. We represent them, but at different levels. The only thing I can advise Ugandan workers is to find which union you belong to and get to join that union so that you become a substantive member. A substantive member of a union is that member that subscribes to the union in accordance with the law. However, all other people remain potential and or book members of the different unions within their sectors. And they get representation whether directly or indirectly.
A lot to think about in there. And I love the fact that there's a lot of information and awareness that's being tabled right now. I hope you're learning something, unlearning and relearning at the same time. We have Mauku Moses. He is the General Secretary of the Uganda Hotels, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers Union, but also the Treasurer General of National Organization of Trade Unions, having a conversation with us regarding workers in there. And we've looked at a lot, but I think for me the highlight so far has been the fact that for every strategy drawn for a business to grow, for an industry to grow, therein has to be the human-centered strategy. And it's something that is being implemented, being pushed for, an agenda being pushed for, that needs to be implemented in the different sectors and employment spaces. Be part of the conversation, 0709 602 592. Now, speaking of working conditions, Mr. Mauku, away from salary increment, what other conditions do you think employers need to consider a lot? The other time with my colleagues here, Robert and John, we were having a conversation, must have been on drug influence, and we also got to chew on the fact that a lot of substance abuse is found in the corporate space. Reason is because the corporate space is a place that demands a lot of demand, working hours, and you find that for one to manage, they have to now resort to substance use in order to keep up, because there's also the burnout, and sometimes employers don't even understand the language of burning out, and one has to keep up. So let's speak into some other conditions that the organization, the trade union fights for away from salary increment and balance?
Okay, thank you for that question. I would begin by trying to educate or provide information.
Right.
That trade unions, by function, we negotiate what we call collective agreements.
Right.
And the collective agreements are divided into three. We have the procedural agreements that are sometimes referred to as recognition agreements, where the employer or the company recognizes the union as the representative organization for the employees in terms of negotiation of representation. But we also have what they call substantive agreements. Those are the collective bargaining agreements. The substantive agreements provide general information on terms and conditions of employment. But we also have a third category of collective agreements that are called circumstantial agreements. And those come in form of memorandum of understanding. And they deal with the short-term situations. For example, if probably a union has called a strike, at the time of calling off this strike, you enter into a memorandum of understanding that spells out the do's and the don'ts after the strike, or on how the strike is being called off. The other example was when we had COVID-19.
Right.
When COVID-19 struck, it provided or it brought situations where these collective agreements and even the law would not apply because of the situations that have been caused by that calamity, that pandemic. It could be a situation of calamity. It could be a situation of a pandemic or an epidemic. All these things present different situations that make the law or the collective bargaining agreement not become effective. Under such circumstances, you go and negotiate circumstantial agreements that are short-lived to mitigate the effects of what the situation has been called. So in the substantive agreements, that is the main agreement that we negotiate, we cover for three situations. Those collective bargaining agreements focus on how a worker gets into employment. The processes and procedures that are required for you as Julie to become an employee with UBC. And those provisions do not only focus on the people in employment, they even focus on those yet to come.
How so?
Yes. So that is why we do not only represent people who are in employment that time, even those yet to come. The agreements provide for how they shall. And then the bigger part of that agreement is to provide for what happens to you as an employee, what are your rights, what are your obligations as an employee during employment.
Right.
And it covers for the obligations and rights of the employer, the obligations and rights of the employee as negotiated, depending on the capability of that organization to meet those obligations. And that is why they are negotiated company by company, because the capacity of the different companies differ. So you may not have the same terms for company A and same terms for company. They may be similar, but not the same. And then the third part of the collective bargaining agreement is the exit process. What then become your entitlements at the time of exit? What are your rights during the process of exit? Because every person who becomes an employee must go through the entry process, must go through the stay process, and also the exit.
That's true.
So the provisions that we negotiate cover for the three aspects in employment: entry, stay, and exit. So we provide for various benefits that accrue an employee. For you people in public service, I don't know whether, if directly in public service, you earn what they call pension. So what does the other employee in the private sector earn? The law provides that that person should be negotiated for a gratuity or a severance pay in cases of loss of employment for reasons at the cause of the employer and not him or herself. If the employer chooses to sever your employment, the law provides that the employer is meant to pay for the severance, but the law does not provide the amount. And those amounts are negotiated between the employer and the union in a collective bargaining agreement. The laws provide for very many things, but without tagging a price, because the employer, the different employers don't have the same capacity to meet such obligations. So it remains the obligation of the union to negotiate with the employer and determine, for example, repatriation allowance. The Employment Act only provides that under circumstances A, B, C, an employee shall qualify to earn repatriation allowance, but it's not determined.
Right.
So those are the things that you will find in. And then we have, when dealing with the process of stay, which is the longest, we determine the disciplinary processes. And most of the collective bargaining agreements you find, especially those negotiated by me, other people I may not know, there must be a clause, not a clause, a whole part dealing with discipline. Because if you don't have a disciplined force, you may not do the best as an organization.
Right.
And you can only defend an employee effectively if she is in employment. So we must also agree on the disciplinary processes and procedures by defining what type of offense, what are the commonly known types of offenses, and then tag the punishments that are commensurate to the offenses so committed, if any, so that we can have a disciplined force, so that people know what to do and what not to do, so they can stay longer.
Someone comes through with the question. This is Deo Happy, live from Butogo, Bundibujo. At what age can one receive his funds from NSSF after leaving the job?
The current law provides that you are meant to receive your money from NSSF when you make 55 years. And then that becomes the retirement age for people working in the private sector, 55 years. However, during the review of the old NSSF Act, the amendments that we pushed for was mid-term access. And mid-term access can allow you to get 20% of your savings when you have served with NSSF for at least 10 years. You can have the liberty to access 20% of your money with NSSF.
Right.
And you must also have acquired 45 years of age. So I suppose that answers his concern.
All right.
45 years of age and after serving for 10 years, or 50 years of age, but when you have either been terminated, you are no longer in employment, but you are 50 years, you can access. As long as there is confirmation to the fact that you are no longer in employment, but you are 50 years, you can also access.
Right.
There are so many parameters where one can access.
Good morning, Julie. And the workers' rights are not observed totally, including working hours. All right, the viewer here is submitting the fact that workers' rights are on paper, but they're not completely or totally observed, including working hours in the real experience of things. What would you have to speak into that?
But what he's saying is correct, but what I want to educate him or her is that these rights are written, but for you to achieve the right, you have an obligation as the employee. It's not only the employee, all rights that are written, for you to achieve them, there is an obligation you do. So you may not just imagine that since the law exists somewhere, people are going to implement it even after you have not demanded. It doesn't work that way. And that is why in the whole world, internationally, governments recognize that the workers must form themselves into organizations that are going to implement the laws. It is the unions, the workers' organizations that help you, the individual employee, to ensure that you implement. Even in organizations where the union represents workers, has a collective bargaining agreement, the implementation of those terms begins with the worker. Because it is you who knows that you have worked more hours. So it is you to raise the issue with the relevant person that I've worked for more than 8 hours in a day, and I'm meant to work for 8 hours by law. What happens with the excess? It is not the other person who is going to, only if they are these international, multinational organizations that probably work according to international agreements that they have.
Right.
They observe some of those things, even when not told, but at least they are compelled by the agreements under which they operate. Otherwise, ordinarily, you are also meant to demand for what is due to you. If they don't pay you a salary by mistake and you keep quiet, they will not have paid. So it is incumbent upon you to remind the other person that this is your obligation on me, and you have not done it. What do I do? If he does not do it continuously, then find the best remedy. Get to this organization that could probably speak for you, because the more times you continue bothering an employer, he might choose to say, for you, no contract.
Sure.
So you go to the union, which will come and speak on your behalf.
Right.
Because for the union, they will not chase it. But for you, they can chase.
They can easily fire you, indeed. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moses Mauku. It's been a pleasure having this discussion with you. And Moses Mauku is the General Secretary of the Uganda Hotels, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers Union, as well as Treasurer General of the National Organization of Trade Unions. Thank you so much for being on the show. Ruben is coming through with the sports update. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3